Parisiens way, and neither does Xabi Alonso because PSG have rolled Real Madrid 4-0 in the semi-final of the Club World Cup. And this team is just rolling. This team is rolling. We all knew PSG are the best team in the world. Even with Pacho out, they were like, I don't even know who started. Who started next to Marquinhos? It doesn't matter what you think because this team is just special. This is the thing. When you build a culture, when you build Beraldo, who the hell is Beraldo? I don't know who Beraldo is. All I know is he had nothing to do this whole game. He did the same thing as me, just sitting back and watching Real Madrid, just doing nonsense. I am very happy. Do you know why I'm happy? Because there are many Real Madrid fans here who needed to be humbled a bit. I'm not mentioning any names, and this is just me having fun with it, honestly, just me having fun with it. But moral of the story is Xabi Alonso needs to do something about Mbappe and Vini. Honestly, I know it's not just them who cost them this game, but when you're playing the best sides in the world, the margins are this small, and you cannot be pressing. You're supposed to be pressing with a 4-3-3. All of a sudden it's a 4-4-2. But then because then Mbappe is pressing, 3 people are pressing for him. He literally just needed to make that one move and get between Hakimi and Marquinhos. Not really between them, but carve that run. That is the one thing that we see people, all the best teams in the world, these players are doing that thing. Bernardo Silva are doing it for City. Jeremy Doku, Grealish, Asquez, Kai Havertz. It is such a simple thing to do. But when you do it, it nullifies those. How do you get scored a training ground goal in a semi-final of this stature? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm not going to fault Xabi Alonso because he hasn't had time with this team. He was basically appointed, came to Club World Cup, and he just hasn't had time with the team. And he needs a pre-season. He needs a full pre-season. After this ends, this is not even a pre-season because the league starts in a month. Pre-season is the objective of pre-season, and those of you who are saying this is not pre-season. Pre-season is your players need to rest. Players need to go with their family, spend time, go on vacation. Come back when you're fresh. We get on the field, we get fit, and we start implementing ideas. There is no time to do that for this guy at this point. And it's just that there's players like Garcia who don't have a choice. Them, I don't think they'll have a pre-season because he feels like he needs to be there and actually fight for his place, Because Mbappe and Vini, I'm telling you, defensively, it's not it. They're going to roll over the league next season. But there's going to be 3 or 4 games if they keep playing like this, which I know they won't. If they keep playing like this, there's going to be 3 or 4 games that they're going to be found out. And those games are going to be the crucial games. They're going to be the Barcelona games. They're going to be the PSG games in the Champions League. Even Arsenal in the Champions League, the same game plan we employed has worked again. You just beat that fast press. And to be honest, I think this was Mbappe's, was this his second start? The games where he hasn't started, this team has looked very different. And it's not a coincidence. And the thing is, you just can't bench him because he's Mbappe. So what do? Someone needs to speak to him. That video of Luis Enrique talking to him and telling about Michael Jordan playing defense, that thing is so true right now. Like, it rings so true. The fact that he's been able to instill that into Dembele is just insane because that boy runs. That boy runs, closing down the goalkeeper. You guys saw what he did in the final of the Champions League with Inter. The game plan was very basic. Inter are very good when they play through their keeper. They shut that keeper down, and those guys did not have a plan B. Obviously, they are old. They also just are going through their own things. But Xabi Alonso has a lot of work to do. Anyway, this is not to be sad about Real. This is to praise PSG because when they lost Mbappe, honestly, at the beginning of the season, personally, I'm one of the people who said, I don't know where this team goes. How do you lose Mbappe for free? That's the first thing, right? On top of that, he wants to sue you guys at Amjamlipado. You haven't paid him money for, you owe him how much. So he wants to take you to court. And then, now you're stuck with these young players. But Luis Enrique had a plan, and we have to give him credit. He had a plan, and he said, just give me these young kids, and I'll work with them. Desiree Doué has become, you cannot remove that guy from the field. Before he played us in the Champions League as Arsenal, he was not, I don't think he was a nailed-on starter. He was an amazing player off the bench. Literally, that tie against us is what nailed his position. The final now cemented it, and now he's a starter. You can't bench the guy. Dembele is, and obviously it was because Dembele was injured, I think, injured first game, the first leg. But anyway, point remains, what I'm trying to say is that Luis Enrique has built a side. He just got rid of the bad apples and he was like, you know what? And this is a lesson to many teams. I'm looking at you, Manchester United did Ruben Amorim. I know he's doing it right now. He's told Rashford and all these guys, well, say, it's time to go. That needs to happen. If you want to build a side to be competitive at this level, you have to get rid of those people. You cannot have passengers, not in this age of football. And this age of football is pressing 11 players, not 10, 11, because your goalkeeper is also pushing up and squeezing, such that if you guys try over the top, he's also there. So you're pressing 11. Your front three, especially your striker, cannot be a passenger. You cannot have wingers who are just chilling. You have to watch runners that are running in behind. Like physicality in the middle of the park, you have to run. You have to be versatile, be able to play multiple positions, apart from a few specialists. So like your goalkeeper, who, I mean, in as much as people like Ederson are there who play everything, but you still have someone like Donnarumma, who is not that much of a Nini goalkeeper. He's not too adventurous, but he's very effective. And a striker maybe, like a proper number 9. That's probably the only two positions. And maybe your left back, right back. But even those, they can kind of play centre back. But now everyone is also inverting, so they can sort of play in midfield. That's what I mean by this age of football. This thing of, like, that goal was so painful to watch. And I'm like, how many months have we seen this happen? Vini, I won't even blame Vini that much. Honestly, I just have to blame them both because it's not fair on Mbappe alone. It's a team thing. And if one person just fails, you're only as strong as your weakest link, literally. Literally. And PSG are so good at exploiting that. Hakimi has become, beginning of the season or earlier, somewhere in the middle of the season, between beginning and middle of season, somewhere, I can't remember where it was. I said Trent is the best right back in the world. After the last 6 months, guys, I'll accept. Hakimi is the best right back in the world. And the thing is, he has a lot going forward, right? He doesn't have the passing ability of Trent. Yes, that's true. But he gives you a lot going forward. He allows that team to now be able to pass from the back. They're doing a literally not whole new, but they can go from plan A to plan B to plan C with the same player. Normally, if you want to move between plans, you have to make some changes and stuff. If you can move between your plan A, B, and C with the same group of players, you have an incredible group of players. And that's just what these guys are. Fabian Ruiz. I'm like, dude, I did not see Fabian Ruiz become this. Like, every time I saw Fabian Ruiz, I was like, to me, he looked like a, I don't know. I'm trying to look for a good example. But anyway, point is, my expectation and what he has proved to me the past 6 months, that guy is just too good. And maybe that's why Spain saw it, right? Spain, there's just this thing. Honestly, I thought he was like a Merino, but he's much more mobile than Merino. Obviously, Merino is much better in the air. He has that left foot. He can do things, right? But Fabian Ruiz can do everything, bro. He can head. His headers are not those ones of Merino where he's leaping and fighting. No, it's those ones, the subtle headers. They're like making a run behind the striker and getting that header behind the keeper. It's just that tap header to create space. Like, he is just such a smart player. He's so mobile, and the unsung hero of this midfield, Vitinha was the unsung hero of Champions League. The unsung hero of this tournament for me, for PSG, has been Fabian Ruiz. And I say for me because I've only watched this tournament from round of 16. I didn't even bother with group stages. But yeah, man, Luis Enrique is re-energizing and re-revolutionizing this game afresh, completely. Hakimi cannot be a right back and you're seeing him on the left side. No, Mensch. There's one chance where Vini had at 2-0, I think. And if he got that chance, that was it. Thibaut Courtois also made an impressive save within the first few minutes of the game. And that should have been signs. That should have been the earliest signs. I have not even touched on the centre-backs. Oh, my God. As a former centre-back, I don't know which one is more egregious. I don't know. I was watching Zambia versus Senegal today in WAFCON. Zambia won 3-2. There's this defender that's called Nachulo, I think. She's 39 years old. She used to be in the athletics, and she was actually represented Zambia in the athletics, and now she plays football. 39-year-old, but she runs hard, like she's everywhere. But first game, she was so good. Like, she was amazing. First game of the tournament where they drew 2-2 with Morocco. Then today, for some reason, the touch just wasn't there. Like, there was a point where the ball came to her and she like controlled it. She looked up to kick to who she's kicking to. As she's going to kick with her right foot, she hits it with the left foot by mistake and hits with the right. And I'm like, you were so good last week. Like, what's happening today? She made so many dumb mistakes. And that's literally how I felt about Rudiger at that moment. I'm like, I rarely see Rudiger make that step, right? Like that misstep, make such a bad mistake, but sometimes it just happens. It literally just happens. But the fact that it can happen to two of your center backs in the same game within the first 9 minutes of the game, that is actually insane. Anyway, those defending mistakes, yes, at the highest level, we have to scrutinize and be like, yo, you guys are better than this. You need to do better. But also as someone who played football, I know these things happen. But the reason why I'm here and they're there is because it happens to them less than it happened to me, right? And they just, yeah. It was so unlike Real. And that put too much pressure on them, too much pressure. By the time that goal was even going in, like, it was too late. And then Valverde is the one who's actually defending. He's the only person, 2 number 8s fighting, Fabian Ruiz and Valverde fighting in the box. Courtois had no chance with that goal. Man, PSG are good. PSG are too good. So now they go and play Chelsea in the final of the FIFA Club World Cup. I will be rooting for Chelsea. Not because I believe Chelsea will win, but because Chelsea fans are... Honestly, this Club World Cup, if it wasn't for you Chelsea fans, I don't think we would have been doing... Okay, we would have still watched, but we wouldn't have had the energy to actually do, like, your games and stuff. So I'm supporting Chelsea just because of the Chelsea fans on Box to Box. You guys are so amazing. Chelsea fans and Shabana fans are the most vocal on Box to Box. So for this final, I'm rolling with Chelsea. This is not a pick in my... This is just an emotional pick, and I don't care about PSG. Chelsea. Playing PSG in the final of the FIFA Club World Cup.